Record.
This is Sizzling, powered by Fit to Be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End Broadcasting. Want to be a part of the 60-day transformation? Contact Karen Doherty, Sizzle, on any of her social media platforms at Fit to Be Trained. All that for the 60-day transformation. Here's your host of Sizzling, Karen Doherty.
It kind of just gets me like, okay, get to work, Karen. Because I do just sit here and smile because you said in the beautiful Virginia Beach, and it is beautiful in Virginia Beach today. It's like 81 degrees.
There's humidity?
There's no humidity. There's a breeze. I have friends in town, so I'm down on the beach because we all know as locals, my guest tonight is a local of Virginia Beach, so she understands that as locals, sometimes we're off working. We don't get to go to the beach. So
I know I go like twice a year, maybe.
It's been fun this week, like because I went yesterday, I went today, I went to Chicks, I went to Dockside. You know, you got to show off the beautiful. Our city is beautiful, so it's fun to just drive around, show the establishments. But my guest tonight has been on the podcast before, and she has her own podcast. It's Proverbs 31 Wannabe, and her name is Alexis Heaslip. She's actually a client of mine. Woo! But she's a really, really good friend too, and like almost feels like a family member. And I just need you to know, Alexis, how important you are to me in my life, because you've taught me so many things. Like what we're going to talk about tonight is on the serious side. But Alexis, you're such a cheery soul. You're the perfect person to deliver the news about postpartum depression. But you know what? And I'm glad that we're laughing about it.
I can laugh about it now because I've been through it.
There's nothing funny about it when it's happening, but you know what? I love the idea that we're sitting around laughing about it because it's not funny, but we've got to be able to get comfortable talking about it.
Hey, it's the only podcast in the world today talking about it, probably. So very good content.
People just don't talk about.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't have to be like you can joke about it. I love that.
Well, people don't talk about depression at all. They hold that kind of thing in. But then now we're going specifically into the postpartum. So this is a whole different ballgame of depression, I would think. Right?
Yes, right. And there's a lot of us that don't know about it, like even females, because not every female gets it. But we don't. Not every girl experiences it, and you can have more than one child and experience with it postpartum with one and not the other. And we're going to get into that because I want to talk about your background and experience with pregnancy. I'm going to let you take the floor. You have 2 children, don't you?
I do. So my son is 7 and then my daughter's 3. And I'm 28. So, yes.
So what was your emotional and physical state like before, like you've had 2 different pregnancies. So like I just said, everyone is different for every different woman. So tell me, what was your emotional and physical state on the first one?
Oh, well, I think like with life, there's a lot of layers when it comes to this. And I like to say my first pregnancy was planned by God, but not by me. So
Elaborate.
Yeah, so
I know what you mean. That was
yeah,
cleverly put.
I was 20 years old in college and not married. So I like to, because now that my faith has grown, I can say Luke was planned by God, but Luke was not on my radar. I had no intention of ever having kids in my life. I was like, oh no, kids are nasty. I was in that
Wow.
mindset. I was in that mindset. I didn't want kids. I thought
I
I was
didn't
just
either, Alexis. I don't think it's that crazy sounding. I just didn't know that about you.
yeah. Yeah.
So do tell.
So it since you know because I was 20 years old and not married, it was a very emotionally turbulent time. And when you're pregnant for the first time, when it's something you've wanted and planned for, it can be stressful, let alone when it's something that was not on your radar. So that was hard, but then physically I was very sick. As you know, I don't know why they call it morning sickness. That's false advertisement, man. I was sick all throughout the day. And it was really hard, and I was sick. And also, a lot of women, I feel like, don't know how to advocate for themselves with their doctors, because they are not just going to give you anti-nausea medication unless you really advocate for yourself. And I didn't know that, and I didn't know how to do that. So it got to the point at one time where I ended up so dehydrated. I ended up in the emergency room and having to get IV fluids.
Right. I forgot about that.
I couldn't hold food or water down or anything. So that was leading up to the birth, but after the birth, boy, was it. I thought that was hard, but after the birth was like the hardest, like one of the hardest and darkest moments in my life, I would say.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I believe you. I feel I don't want to take the floor away from you, but I do feel like I didn't realize what it was because it's such a hormone flux.
Oh yeah.
And you turn into somebody so different that you really don't know what. Like I didn't realize you don't know when you're going through it. You don't know you're going through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until after, and you're like, oh my God. Like I realize now that I did have a touch of it. I always said, no, I didn't really have to deal with that, but it was considered hormone flux, whatever.
And it is like your body is surging with all of these hormones, and your body's changing so quickly when you're pregnant, and then post birth and after the fact, your body's going through a completely different hormonal shift that it's overwhelming. It's a lot.
When did you first notice the signs that things were kind of
falling apart?
Yeah.
Oh, so like after birth?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it took me a while. It took me a while to realize how bad it was, but after Luke was born, part of my problem was I was only with my family for a couple of weeks before having to go back up to Northern Virginia, so I was very isolated. Very isolated. I didn't have my immediate family right there with me.
Do you want to talk about that you were still in college?
Oh, because that's a big part of it.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know if you didn't want to share that, but you were a college student deep into your studies. This was not planned, no. And so you tried to finish, didn't you, if I remember correctly?
I did, and I should. Oh no,
Did you say you shouldn't have, or you should have?
I did not have. I was not
in
the right mental state of mind, so I flopped.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's a lot of layers. But because I was already so stressed, because this wasn't in my plan, in my timeline, my body was so stressed that my milk wouldn't come in.
Right.
So then, and when your milk doesn't come in, you feel like a failure. And I don't know, like formula is like $50 for one can. So that was like a financial stressor. And, you know, we're broke. We're both in college. My husband, who I'm now married to, we were broke. He really, Karen, though, I gotta say, although it was horrible and I felt like such a failure because I couldn't breastfeed and I was all alone, but Mac really was like an anchor. And looking back, Karen, I don't know how he did it all because he was taking 18 credit hours. He was working full time almost. They say, you know, part time, but they were working him like 38 hours a week. He was doing classes. He was keeping Luke where he should be health-wise and making sure I didn't do anything stupid to harm myself. And he graduated a semester early. With honors. My husband
Yay, we love Mac. Can we say his name?
Yeah,
we love Mac. We love Mac. I know that's cool that you get to look back and see some joy from that and really appreciate, because it does talk about that. Like, did you have support? So let's kind of backtrack. So you did thankfully have support. So we want to talk to the girls that might not, you know, and what were the signs that, you know,
not wanting to eat, not wanting to get out of bed.
And the baby's born, you know, Luke is
born. You don't have a choice, but I felt like, and Mac will talk about this too, because that's a different perspective, the husband's perspective.
I know.
I was there, but I wasn't there.
Exactly, because I said that to Steve. I was like, I understand if men aren't interested in this unless they're affected by it, and Mac would be interested in hearing
Luke's first 8 months of life, if I'm being honest.
Right.
I was there, but it's very foggy. It was like I was in a fog.
Oh.
It was
I believe it, because it is such a hormonal shift, and depression. I hate to say it, I've experienced it too. I think we need to talk about this stuff. And mine wasn't, I think I had a little touch of postpartum, and then I had it through life, you know, just with life experiences. Sometimes life gets hard and it can be situational, but still detrimental or hormonal.
Yeah. I wasn't being active. I wasn't getting outside. I was just there.
Oh, so sad, isn't it? And it really is so sad. It's such a horrible feeling, and these poor girls and the children, because they're affected too. And thank God you did. Thank God you had your husband. Okay, so let's go moving on. All right. So now, how long did it take before you kind of moved on? Because now there's a second child coming in a couple years, but
well,
and she's back.
You know what's funny, Karen, is that we were literally talking about this during my workout session. How Satan likes to attack the show. You know, we're talking about something good.
Okay, so let's go to. So it's like we didn't even miss a beat. I tried to talk through the break. We have 5.
No, I'll be right back.
So what we left off with is how movement impacted. Where did we leave off? Let me see. I know how you started to move on and get over it.
Yeah. Well, starting to get off my butt, and my mom seeing how bad I was, and her like smacking me upside the head, saying you can't keep on doing this anymore, and then God reaching down and smacking me upside the head.
Aww.
And then one thing that really did help is and we're talking about movement, because movement and getting up and doing something really makes a difference. I joined a Mommy and Me yoga class.
Great.
And that was one of the things that really helped me feel alive again.
I bet.
Because I didn't feel alive. I felt like I just wanted to be dead.
How long did it take?
8 months.
To get out of your darkness?
8 to 9 months. Yeah.
Oh, so Luke, did you experience it right away? I don't mean to backtrack. I just want to be clear. Did you experience it fairly swiftly after Luke's birth?
I would say so because everything was already so compounded from the whole situation in the first place.
Yeah.
So, and you can read all those parenting books and take parenting classes,
Right.
and you think you know,
Right.
but you don't. And it's not to scare anyone, but until you have a child of your own, I mean, it sounds great in a book. Oh, just do this. But that's just not how it always works out, because babies are beings.
Right.
You
Right. And
So,
so tell me, so now you're going for your second child. We're going to speed ahead a little bit. Things kind
oh
of
yeah.
progressed after about 8-9 months. You started
And I moved
moving
back.
again.
I
And
moved
did
back
you
here.
see a professional? Did you take any therapy? Did you have any?
I did
Okay.
because my husband and my mom told me I didn't have a choice. And it was really good. She was really wonderful. And I
Excellent.
was really fortunate for myself, she was a Christian girl. So having that person who understood my faith as well while going through therapy was really good and really helpful.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I did take citrulline for a little bit, but and also another layer to the story was what really made me feel like I was going literally insane was I got on birth control after my son was born, and I had never been on it before, and I got Nexplanon, which is the one in the arm, and that was the most horrific. I should have never done that.
It's kind of lagging out. So let's kind of I kind of miss that. It's kind of going in and out. So we'll try and stay. I don't know if it's my headphones, so I always try and stay kind of still. So I missed that, and it sounded so important. So please repeat what you just said.
I think one of the things that made my postpartum depression worse was getting on birth control.
Therapy.
But and she helped me through that and talked me through that. And getting away from the birth control in the arm and talking,
I think.
and she helped talk me through what hormones do to the body with birth control. I don't know if Karen can still hear me or not. Let's see. Karen, can you still hear me? Oh. I'll just pause for a second then. Hey.
I've gone to get my producer. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. I can hear you now. Yes, okay. It started to get a little bit longer where I didn't hear and I didn't know if you dropped off. So hopefully we can edit through this, but so do you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, and I can see you just fine as well.
Okay, good. All right. Well, then we're going to just keep let's are deciding. No. So now the second child was planned, correct?
Yes. So it had been, Luke is almost 4 years older than Colette. We had moved back down to this area, and that was huge. To move back down, be closer to family, finding a new church, getting plugged in. And we've come to the point where we're like, okay, if we're going to have a second child, we don't want it to be too far of an age gap.
Right.
So we made that decision, and it just so happened to be during the Rona time.
Oh.
Yeah. So
COVID.
yeah. Thankfully, it was after some of the craziness because she was born in November of 2021. But there still were restrictions like having to go in the hospital with a mask, having a limited amount of people, but it's okay.
Right.
And
Well, yeah.
it was such a night and day experience because I had been working out with you again for a couple of years at that point. And the
Right.
pregnancy was so different because I had you, I had Pilates twice a week. I knew how to advocate for myself in the doctor's office, which is huge because I've been through it now. So I knew I was working part-time. I don't know if you remember that, at the preschool. And between you working with my body and continuing through my normal workout routine through the pregnancy, I was so much less sick throughout
Oh,
that.
yes.
And my
Yes.
was so much more relaxed. I feel like my body was a lot stronger throughout that pregnancy than it was with Luke because I was still consistently working out. And Pilates just really prepares your body. Well, I couldn't have a natural labor with my daughter. She was breech, so I had to have a C-section. But and we can talk about the postpartum recovery and Pilates if we want to, but I felt so much more at peace throughout the pregnancy. I had a bigger support system throughout the pregnancy. We were in a more financially stable position in that pregnancy, and my relationship with God was way different. And all those factors combined, because it's not just one factor. There's all these different factors that go into postpartum depression. Now I was so afraid of having it again. I'm not gonna lie. I was really
I'm so glad you bring that up because yeah, like how does it feel? Yes. Like,
and
yes.
that made me really nervous to go through pregnancy again. Not just getting sick, but the thought of potentially, because it's not something you can really control because it has to do with the chemistry in your brain and your hormones.
Of course not.
And
Right.
you don't have to have a traumatic pregnancy like I did or a really hard one to have postpartum depression. It can happen
No,
to
not at all.
It can happen to anyone. So I was really, really afraid of having that again. And then with my daughter, there were a lot of health risks with her on her end because she was breech. She was restricted. So I would have to go in twice a week to get hooked up to the machines to make sure her heart rate was stable for 3 months. And then I did end up having a C-section with her.
Yes.
And so with my son, I was able to do a normal vaginal birth. So completely different birth experiences. Completely different. And with my
How was the healing for a C-section? Now, granted, it doesn't sound like you had to deal with postpartum, thankfully, on the second child, but you had a C-section, so it was more of a physical healing process, I take it.
It was both healing from either vaginal delivery or a cesarean. They're both hard. But if I had to do it again, I would rather not have a C-section again because a C-section is major abdominal surgery. And they have to peel back the layers, your muscles, your tissue, and everything to get to the uterus. And I felt like that recovery physically was way harder.
Oh, it is.
Way harder. Way harder.
It is.
I was moving.
Yeah.
And as soon as I was cleared, I went back to Pilates. And
Well,
that
it
was
lucky
so
for
good.
me, I get to know what you did during that time because that was me. Like
Yes.
Pilates has a cutoff point in pregnancy where after a certain, you can be into your pregnancy. I can't remember if it's 36 weeks but you get pulled off, and it might even be 30 weeks. I
think it was
I can't
30.
remember. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, your last trimester. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah. So what you do is you can't, as the trainer, we can't have you gals on your back for
Right.
too long.
Right.
So we did a lot of stuff seated on the ball and modified
Mhm.
things rather than keep her on the reformer and stuff like that, because obviously there's so much fitness you can do with a pregnant woman. I mean, my goodness. But Pilates, because of laying on the back, is something that they can't really do right up to the end. But you did stay active right to the end, and I feel like you came back pretty normal.
For the most
Obviously you
part,
had your recovery. Yeah, I don't remember you being out for an extensive period of time, even with
we-
C-section.
I
Do
think
you
we waited.
remember?
If I remember correctly, we waited until my 6-week checkup to be medically cleared. And it
That's not
took a
very
little bit
much.
because my incision area was still sensitive.
Of course.
We had to take some things into accountability, like not laying on my stomach right away for some exercises that we do on the reformer. But I think I got moving as soon as I could. The recovery overall and being able to go back fully happened pretty quickly. And I'm so grateful that I had that. And although going from 1 to 2 it's a lot. Going from 1 kid to 2 is a lot, but I didn't feel overwhelmed to the point of despair like I did.
That's great. That's such a great, and think of all the work, think of what you had. Like going from 1 to 2 must be overwhelming, and to really put that into perspective, how it was like just a walk in the park compared to that first one.
Right. I mean, there were overwhelming moments, but it didn't get to the point of despair. And that was the biggest difference. There was no feeling of hopelessness. There was no feeling of despair. And that's what postpartum depression is. It's like that feeling of despair and like you're in a pit. And no matter how hard you try.
Despair is a very graphic word. It tells you that. I like that word. Advice for other moms. What do you wish you would have known earlier? Is there anything that you're like?
Yeah. You don't have to do it alone. And I know even like married girls who plan it out and they're excited to have kids, it can still be lonely, especially if none of your friends have kids yet. It can be, and that was me. Like, I was out of college, okay, so no one else had kids, and the attitude of most of the people who I encountered who saw me as pregnant was very nasty, unfortunately. So I experienced a lot. There was a lot of trauma there.
Wow.
So I had random people coming up to me who I didn't even know on campus. They were like, "Why are you keeping it? Just get rid." I mean, and this is people I'd never met before in my life telling me just get rid of it. So
I'm stunned.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So my experience was very rough. Like it was very hard. I have a lot of, and it happened more than once. So surround yourself with people that love you.
Right.
Surround yourself with people that you know can support you. Start, find group activities like Mommy and Me Yoga was wonderful because it's something you do with your baby, and you can meet other women who are going through motherhood.
Right.
And we would be doing our breathing exercises and have the time, and then afterwards talk about what's been going on in the week, what's been working, what hasn't, because you learn from shared experiences.
Oh, I think groups are like, even like if you like a therapy session, a group
Yeah,
therapy is so much more efficient than one-on-one therapy. And most therapists will say that, even that they get
absolutely.
a lot more accomplished as professionals in a group because we bounce off of each other. And
And get
I
out of your
love being in groups. Yes. And
get
all
another
kinds.
advice, get out of your house. It's so
Yeah.
easy when you have a baby to just stay in your house all day, but
Yeah.
that's so isolating. Don't do it.
Ooh,
Take a
yeah, I
walk.
agree.
Take a walk. Take a walk. Get outside. Breathe in some fresh air. Get some
Yes.
sunshine. Find a church group. One of the
Hmm.
things that I've loved over the past couple of years, and I'm sad I won't be able to do it in the fall, was I found a mom group. So
Right.
it was a group for moms to do a Bible study, and there was childcare, and to have time
Oh.
a week to have some snacks, have a cup of coffee, and just
Mhm.
pray as a group, Bible study as a group, and then just talk about life. And it was so wonderful.
What
So,
worlds apart from the first, that does. It
so
really sounds blissful, but like you had even said, you were scared. You were like, I'm not going to let this, fool me again or get tricked into this. And
and
if
mother,
I do feel the signs, I'm going to go get help
yeah,
right
yeah,
away.
absolutely. And
Um,
motherhood's not easy. But and I don't want people to think like even though it was so much better the second time, it's still hard. It's still hard work, but it's so rewarding.
Absolutely, because that was too, like, and it's
Yeah.
not always rewarding too.
No, no,
I hate to be the realist
no. Some
here,
days you want
but
to. I mean, even now, my kids are going into second grade and preschool, and there's still days I want to rip my hair out and scream.
I know, because they say, like, kids are curious. They're not always rebellious. Sometimes they're just curious. And,
Yeah,
I remember a doctor telling me that kid throws that egg on the floor, not because he wants to punish you. He's really curious. What's it going to feel? What's it going to look like if they're
yeah,
not being bad. They're really just curious, and
right,
they don't know that that egg is going to splatter and make a big fat mess. And it's kind of
exactly.
cool to watch them explore, but it can be a relentless, relentless
Yeah.
job.
Or sometimes they do.
Encouragement from, I'm sorry.
I said sometimes they do know.
I do know. You're right. Encouragement for moms who feel overwhelmed or disconnected from their bodies. You had said you did the mommy and me yoga. That probably
Yeah.
helps. Or do you feel like getting exercise solitary without the child is also probably very helpful as
Yes and
well?
yes. Yes and yes.
Mhm. Yes.
Just moving. And
Mhm.
I know this feels counterintuitive to say, but you have to make time for yourself. And I know, like I said,
Right.
when you have a baby, that feels like the last thing that you should even do because you're nurturing a life that's so new and they're so helpless and you have to do everything for them. But you have to and you should prioritize focusing on finding time for yourself, even in the phase of newborn. Because
How do you do that? Well, like you said, I think finding time for yourself would even be like that
and
woman's group that you were in. Is there solitary time that you feel that is good? Really, I didn't mean to say Is there solitary time too that you feel is beneficial? I guess that's a silly question.
well,
Everybody's going
no,
to
it's
be
not. No,
different.
it's not. No, it's not because when you're in the thick of having a newborn, there is no solitary. It feels like
Mm.
there is no solitary time, and people forget that you're allowed to. One of the things that I would look forward to the most is my shower, and I
I
would
was
shower.
just going to say maybe bath time or shower
And
time is really the
my
only way.
my husband would make sure that no one disturbed me.
And
having
with
an
two, it would have to be that way. I can't remember. I was single mom, so I can't remember how I managed to get some
and
solitary time.
soak up that time after they go to bed and do
Right.
something. Once they've gone to bed, find something that you enjoy and make an effort to do it.
Yeah.
I know this is going to sound silly. Screw the laundry. You can do it another time. Give yourself at least 20 minutes to do
Yeah.
something you love, like read a book, watch a TV show, have a conversation with your husband or a friend, and be an adult, because you might be mom, but you're still you. And I feel like a lot of moms lose their identity, their self
Oh, it's
identity.
so brought up in here. I'm so glad you're covering that because I kind of am skimming over stuff. And yes, you're like closing out with all the points I want to hit. And I'm so grateful for that because it does. I think we do lose our identity.
I'm a big fan of skip the laundry.
Right?
As you can always tell, Karen, when you're over here.
I think that's it. Sometimes you do have to let go.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
always be on a rigid schedule. And hey, I want to hit on that. You can't be on a rigid schedule when you have two toddlers.
No.
You can't. You'll go mad. You'd go
You can
mad.
try, but it doesn't work all the time. Now, like
It's like herding cats.
I know. I do make a point to like where I would like sleep training. I know it's very controversial. Some people don't do it, but for me, that's what worked. Getting them on a nap schedule, getting them on a sleep schedule. That way you can give yourself that personal time.
Yeah.
Also, I'm very fortunate, so fortunate that I have my parents local, so I can go and work out with you and have that adult time with just you and me.
True that, but there are ways like well, I was going to say there are like childcare and exercise
like
facilities, but sometimes it is that because not everybody can afford a membership. So sometimes it is that you can put them in the stroller and just try to, try to do,
or take a walk if you don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Or YouTube has a lot of great workout videos. Just throw them in the pack and play and get a workout on YouTube.
I'm so glad you said that because YouTube is your best friend. I always say that to everyone. It's free. You can just talk into it now, but you could just type in anything in that little space for what you're looking for. You can get any workout that you want, length that you want. Say you only have 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Right.
And I have on-demand classes too that you can do, but you don't need even that. All you need to do is type in YouTube. It's fantastic. I just used YouTube this week because I had to replace a part on my reformer, and I'm like, oh my God. Some final thoughts on anything that you feel like you want to speak about on embracing imperfection and healing through motion. I think you pretty much covered, but if you have anything else that you want to share.
I think the one component we just haven't talked about is what you put in your body. With food and staying hydrated. Whether you're pregnant or within postpartum. And girl, I know we say all the time, I'm a camel, so I am guilty too about not drinking enough water. And don't make food harder than it needs to be. Look at the things that God have created. Look at the natural things that God has created, like fruits, veggies, meat.
God, we just had a whole podcast on that last week.
You don't have to be like an Instagram queen who cooks everything from scratch and be like one of those girls. Don't overcomplicate it. And because I like you, especially with me, like these past 100 days, my husband has been on this food journey, and we've talked about this. But what you put into your body really matters. And that impacts your motion, that impacts your mood, that impacts everything as well. So it's really all connected.
I agree. I'm so glad you brought that piece up, especially how important nutrition is. And like I said, we talked about it a lot last week, how just how the food not as natural as you can do. Even me just boiling potatoes this past week, I felt like I was just taking a minor step towards being more aware of the preservatives, the microwave, the radiation, everything. Just try a little.
And
it doesn't have to be perfect, but
you can change things over time. It's nothing we need to rush. And I feel like as moms, that's something you really need to realize. Like, perfection is not the option. It's slow changes over time.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That was so perfect. Well, I appreciate you so much coming on and talking about such a serious subject, not making it uncomfortable to talk about, feeling comfortable in this environment to share that with us. I appreciate you so much, and I just adore you as a person, and I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing that with me. And that's it, unless you have something else.
I guess the only thing I want to say is I feel like I wish more women were open about this.
Well, we're starting it.
So many people suffer in silence and alone. So that's just my hope.
I agree with you. It feels good to start talking about it. It doesn't have to be such a dreadful subject. I even think we might have laughed a few times. It's okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Alexis. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. And thank you for taking the time out for us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Karen.
Thanks, hon.
Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you.
And we'll go ahead. Cue up your song, Karen.
I think it's funny to hear this song. Like, sometimes we're going to have to throw a different one on. Like, we automatically just went into sports mode, which I absolutely adore. So we're going to come up with new tunes that when we're on a more serious evening.
We'll have the dramatic.
Yeah, we will. We really will. But I loved how we talked about something so serious but didn't make it oh, you can't talk about that stuff. You can. And you can laugh. And you can and you can be happy and move on.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Alexis, I didn't know you were still there.
Now she's back.
It's so funny to hear that